Okay, great. Welcome to group 4 tonight. We're looking at case 2.1, Locate Plus Holdings Corporation. That is the right one, right? Yeah, okay. All right. For a half a second, I thought maybe, because I think the last one we did was a 2 point something too. All right. So Locate Plus, very interesting company. They make databases which contains about 98% of information on all Americans, or 98% of the profiles on Americans, which I thought was interesting. Half of their revenue came from direct sales of just the database, while the second half came from them selling it to channel partners who just come in, pay a basic rate, and they get access to that data. So to increase operating results, what are we going to do? Oh, we're going to create a fake channel partner, right? Omni Data Services. And they did some fraudulent cash transfers to make that happen. Well, and they were deceiving the auditors. So in 2005, the current auditors quit, and they came up with L&H to be the new auditors, where we're introduced to William Wood and Kevin Howley. So when those two gentlemen went to meet with the predecessor auditors and said, "Hey, why'd you quit?" They said, "Oh, well, because we had difficulty getting information from them. We got contradictory information. They were using unsigned contracts for the audit evidence for us, and they resisted adopting our proposed audit adjustments." And in the predecessor work papers, there was a letter from a whistleblower saying that there was an entity that was not real. Well, our new auditors here, Mr. Wood and Mr. Howley, decided to accept anyway. And then as they were going over the quarterly reviews, they expressed some concerns over Omni. They didn't have a website, and they were not listed as a company doing business in the particular state they were in. And a former board member popped up and said, "Hey, I don't think that company is legitimate. I don't think they're real." So then when they were doing their annual brainstorming session, they looked at the revenue and the receivables for Omni. And in doing that, they checked the other channel partners, but they didn't check Omni. And then so we start sending out confirmations, right? And first one they sent out to them was returned. They had to do it a second time, and that one came back signed and all that. So then there were some more allegations about Omni. So then the auditors decided to come up with this brilliant idea of including extra language in the management representation letter saying that they weren't aware of any fraud, because we all trust management, right? Mm-hmm. So here we go. So then we get to the point where next year we send out another confirmation. Same exact thing happens. Don't get the first one back. Second one comes back perfect after we resent it. And in the 2006 work papers, there was a document stating that the state was investigating LP's business as being exaggerated or fake. And guess what? The auditors didn't review the report. Didn't look at it, but they had a copy of it. That's cool. So the SEC located in the work papers a document from the outside counsel and the audit committee where they said, "Hey, we believe that Omni's okay." So then once again, we have the management representation letter coming out with this same extra added language. The auditors give unqualified opinions, except in 2006, they put a going concern paragraph in there. All right, so then the SEC came out and said, the auditor's conduct was unreasonable. Howley and Wood were suspended from practice before the SEC for 3 years. L&H got fined. And then, interestingly enough, it talked about that each staff member who was serving at L&H had to undergo additional training if you were working with a public company. So Locate Plus eventually filed bankruptcy. Their name and website got sold, and Fields and La Torella, I guess is how you say that, got both convicted of securities fraud. And there you go. I think the first question that we should be looking at is, why did these auditors accept this job, and why did they keep it? I mean, really, seriously.
Yeah.
Desperation, probably.
Uh, It's
I'm
an
thinking,
extreme level.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Connie. Money.
yeah, I'm thinking all that sugar. I would love to know how much they got paid for this. I don't think it said that.
Alrighty. Well, to move to the questions, the very first question is a long one. The PCAOB's auditing standards identify auditors' responsibilities when addressing the possibility that fraud has materially impacted a public company's financial statements. Which of these responsibilities did L&H auditors fail to comply with during the 2005 and 2006 Locate Plus audits? For each item that you listed, explain how the L&H auditors failed to fulfill that responsibility. So, if I can pull it up.
I think it
Um,
would be easier to answer that question by saying, what did they do correct?
It would
it
be
would
a
be a
much
lot
shorter
shorter,
list.
Yeah.
much shorter list. Um, just to give a flat out conclusion, basically what I said, failed the key responsibilities that PCAOB has for fraud, lacking skepticism, ignoring very, very obvious warning signs, um, failing to gather strong evidence, and issuing a clean opinion when there's a significant fraud risk already present. That's just crazy to me that they're just like, ah, it's good, it's good. I promise it's good. Just crazy. Yeah, they
Yeah, I
rely.
also put the way they responded to fraud risks and the way they evaluated them.
Yeah,
Not a fan here.
yeah. And another thing that I said in my notes or whatever is just to relied significantly too much on management, just taking their word for it and being like, okay, sure. If that's what you say, that means it has to be right. I mean, they didn't even like, as you kind of said, they didn't even test Omni for like many things that could have given a clear indication. I think it's because they knew probably and they didn't want to do it.
Oh,
Because
definitely.
if they would have tested, they would have had to write down what they did, and then it would have been proven that there was fraud, and they just didn't want to deal with that. I guess there's no telling. As you
Yeah,
were saying, I want to know how much money.
I wish the case would have stated, like, why did they accept the job?
Yeah, out of like desperation, could be like a new company or like a buttload of money, maybe. Like I don't know, something.
I mean, the
Oh,
incentive for this is most likely money. I just don't get why they wouldn't have stated that. I feel like that's a very important part of this case, how much they got
yeah.
paid. Because it had to be a truckload of money. I mean, because I just don't see any other reason why they would take this.
It's
Because
just,
it wasn't.
it's a complete, I was going to use naughtier language than I should have. It was a complete mess.
Yeah,
Mm.
And
I
there
mean,
was like,
they didn't even have a website. Like you couldn't look them up and find a website for them. I mean, what?
yeah,
They wanted to be low profile.
yeah. All right, we're moving to question three now. Question three is much smaller. What are the primary responsibilities of a concurring partner under current U.S. auditing standards? For what I wrote for my answer is that the concurring partner acts as an independent quality control reviewer, ensuring the major judgments, the evidence, and then just the overall final opinion of the audit are all reasonable before the entire report is then issued, if anyone concurs with that.
I
so
concur.
I got a similar definition to it that from what I found. I'm a little bit confused by like what they are. Are they like a separate audit partner?
It, from
Like,
my understanding, it's like someone, it's an independent person that reviews what I'm assuming is the already finished work and making sure there's nothing like funny poking out or anything. It's just an audit for the auditor is what I understood it as.
okay,
Yeah, yeah, that's what I basically said.
cool. Because we must have read the same sources because I got basically the
Yeah.
same stuff, but I was just not making sense of what any of it meant.
Yeah, that's of my understanding. I mean, I haven't But for this, I didn't know that was really a thing. Like I probably heard of it before, obviously, but I know it wasn't fresh in my brain. But yes, that's of my understanding. That's kind of what it is. Just it gives it like another review. That way, better peace of mind. I mean,
But here in this case, clearly he agreed with what they did. So
I mean,
did he actually review it, or what? Or what was the deal?
I mean,
Just how concurring was this audit partner?
I
He
mean,
was so
it's
concerned. He agreed to everything.
yep. It's most of these cases. If everyone did everything they were supposed to, it'd be so much smoother. But it's just the initial auditors didn't do it, and then the concurring partner agreed when it was wrong. Still, it just everyone does something wrong. It seems like
Hmm.
whenever reading cases about a successful audit, how this audit just worked the way it was supposed to. All right. So the last question, if no one has anything else to add to that, the last question, number 4, is. Were you gonna say something?
No, I was just
Okay.
saying no.
Okay, no, I just wanted to make sure. The last question is, what is the nature and purpose of a letter of representations? If I said that right. Comment on the quality or strength of the audit evidence yielded by lack of representations. I chose numbers for a reason. My answer that I put is a representation letter is a necessary written confirmation from the management, but it is like one of the weaker forms, I guess you could say, of like the evidence that the auditors should use and should not, in all caps, substitute for an independent verification. That it is not, it's not independent verification. It's just a tool that's nice, I guess, to have, of my understanding.
So it's basically, it seems similar in purpose to, I'm completely blanking on what it's called, letter of engagement, but
An
like
engagement letter, yeah.
engagement letter, but like for your current clients, like you're just reiterating your responsibilities throughout this letter.
Well, no, it's
Yeah,
actually more like you're getting management to write down in writing and say, "We told you everything that we know,
kind of like
and
lays it all
we
in.
didn't leave anything out. We didn't make any mistakes.
Yep.
We told you everything we know." Because I know from my job, our clients, we get our clients to sign management representation letters when they get audited. That's part of the job I have to do, is get them to sign it. They will sign anything I put in front of them and ask no questions.
Mm.
They won't ask, what does this sentence mean? What does that sentence mean? They'll sign it, and then a week later they'll call and they'll say, what did I mean? What did I sign? What was that?
And
And
then, yeah.
we'll go over it. Hey, it says you put together the financial statements and you did a good job and you didn't leave anything out. And we told them all about the lawsuits and whatever going on. And they'll be like, is that what that said? So the bottom line is, if you ever want to take them into court, you've got to have it. Like, it's like a cutoff letter. You've got to have like a letter where they say, hey, we told you everything, because if you don't, what's going to happen is they're going to pop up in court and they're going to be like, you didn't ask me that, and I didn't say that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else to add from anyone?
Nothing I can think of. It's a
All
relatively
right.
short and simple week.
Yeah.
Very, very good. All right. Well, I believe that is it.
Alrighty. See ya.